Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Peach Podcast with Seductive Peach. It is a pleasure to be back on the show tonight to bring you guys some mental health awareness tonight. I'm going to put this on vibrate. I was trying to do the podcast on Clubhouse as well that I started trying to be a little more proactive on. But for some reason, I guess for my club room, the Peach Empire room, when it's live, it's not letting me have the replays on so people can go back and listen to it. So I'm just learning the app, trying to figure it out. It did let me automatically save one before I did. So I don't know if that's because it was scheduled not in the room, but outside the room. I don't know. But anyway, I'm figuring that out. So anyone from Clubhouse, hopefully they can come over here and check us out tonight. Excuse me. I'm very thirsty. So first we're going to start off with, a couple questions. And please, really, give your, honest thoughts on it, honest opinions. Give it some thought, though. Like, try not to answer too quickly, because it's definitely questions that might take some time. Why do I feel mental health is important? I feel it's important because without mental health, where really would we be? If we didn't have positive mental health, we didn't have motivation, if we didn't believe in ourselves, where would we be? So I think mental health is extremely important. It helps bring you confidence. In so many levels, mental health is important. The American Psychiatric Association defines mental health as a health condition involving changes in thinking, emotion, or behavior, end quote. And, identifying mental health, nothing is wrong. Like, a lot of people put a stigma on mental health or, people get ashamed to talk about it and stuff. And that's another reason why I wanted to start doing some mental health awareness shows, because it's not a topic that's discussed enough. It's a topic we need to be talking about more. Over 40 million Americans have either dealt with mental health issues in the past or are dealing with them now. So it's definitely not like it's not something that needs to be discussed, or it's not like it's not something that we've all at some time maybe dealt with, just thought about sharing the live real quick. But we are streaming live as well right now on the Seductive Peach page and the Peach Podcast with Seductive Peach page. Right now, some things got switched around. So right now, these are the two main pages we're streaming on live. Seductive Peach and the Peach Podcast with Seductive Peach. So, and of course, now there's a knock on my door. Give me a second, please. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. Please make sure as you guys enter, you guys share the live. I greatly appreciate it. I want to take a second to say everyone's love and support that they've given me throughout 2022. It's greatly appreciated and always reciprocated. I am very grateful for the support I have and the love and respect I'm given, even in the industry. I've met a lot of wonderful people this year that I hope to continue to work with in 2023. And the Peach Empire Agency LLC in 2023 is coming hard. And we have some great artists to introduce to y'all. So I'm pretty excited about it. But back to the topic at hand. What do you do for your mental health to keep you healthy? That's another question for tonight. Do you do meditation? Do you maybe call a friend if you need to talk? What is it exactly you do to help you? Excuse me. It's good to understand yourself so you're able to communicate with others. And, it helps you be more resilient and cope with challenges that might come your way. I had took some notes, for these podcasts. So, that's what you see me looking at from time to time because it's hard to remember every single thing I wrote down. But I definitely have a lot of great notes for y'all. I hope you guys were able to catch the first podcast we had. It was on Clubhouse, and it was about branding and imaging as an artist and why it's so important and everything. The podcast I had 2 nights ago on there for mental health, for some reason, the replay was off and it didn't save. So I was very upset about that because it was a good show. But in case anyone was wondering where that replay went, that's what happened. And for some reason, it's I don't know, not letting me replay, but we'll figure that out later. So now, good mental health, they say, is the ability to have motivation to engage in life. A lot of people aren't motivated, just aren't motivated. But sometimes, I was just telling someone earlier, sometimes you have to be your own coach. Like when no one else is there to be your coach and no one else is there to push you, you have to be there for yourself and push yourself. When no one else is there for you in any other way, be your own coach. Give yourself your own pep talk. Look yourself in the mirror, and always say positive affirmations. Always have positive thoughts. Positive thoughts will bring positive vibes in a positive life. Like we talked about the other day on the podcast that disappeared, it's super important to find something that also gives you some kind of clarity and peace of mind. And if you have someone, and positivity all around you, of course. So if you have someone that's, always being negative or trying to argue with you or anything, you just ask them, please, don't argue with me. I'm not arguing with you. I'm not, I don't want that negative energy reflected on me. If they don't like the fact that you said that, that's too bad for them. You're trying to keep your positive energy and keep your peace. So even if you have to go for a walk or something, just so you can escape that situation or that negative energy, go for a walk. Do what you got to do to get through that, because it's so important to have positive energy and positive vibes. It's going to help you not just think clearer, but be more productive, be happier. Why would you not want to be positive? It just makes things better overall in your whole entire life. And all emotions have a function, how do you tolerate distress? Like if you're in a distressed situation, how would you tolerate it? How would you handle it? Because you have to remember, mental health is you thinking, you feeling, and you acting. So, those are controlled behaviors. Like, we can control our behaviors. And that's why sometimes it's hard for me to really take excuses from someone saying, because of this or this is why this, because no, if you're able to be patient and understanding to somebody and have a calming spirit and a positive spirit, you're not going to be so fast to just retaliate and try to argue with that person. Even they could be talking as calm as I'm talking, and the person's just coming at you with ah, 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 ah. That's when you need to you need to walk away. Whatever you got to do to get yourself away from that negative energy. Um, don't feed into it. That's the important thing, is not to feed into the negativity. Don't feed in to, because someone else is upset with themselves or miserable with themselves. Don't let that negativity, that energy, rub off on you. Be true to yourself. Always love yourself enough to know you don't have to put up with it either. Have self-love. Self-love is so important. Self-love is going to make sure that, not only are you happier, it's going to make you respect yourself more, to where you're not going to put up with no negativity or no crap, because you don't deserve to. And, a lot of negative energy is what sometimes causes some mental health issues. It could trigger a lot of different things. It can trigger anxiety, it could trigger depression, all kinds of stuff. So, it's very important to always try to stay positive. And, remember, you do have people here for you. Like, even when you feel like there's no one there and no one believes in you, always believe in yourself. Like I said, being your own coach. Also, know I'm always here. If you need someone to talk to and you're really depressed, I will always be here. Um, and don't forget, not to get spiritual, but God is always here too. For everybody that needs Him, all you have to do is call upon Him. And I think it's very important to remember that, that you only need faith of a mustard seed. And, to keep the positive spirit, and everything will come together and fall into place. Um, how do you cope with situations triggering distress? Like I was just saying, maybe walk away. Maybe, it depends on what the situation is, how you can do it, but maybe meditation, like meditation in the morning, I have found is so helpful. Like, I'm a skeptical person about everything and everybody, but I'm going to let you know, meditation has definitely been very um, important and imperative. And I think more people, if they did meditation, they might not be so grumpy during the day. They might be more productive during the day. Really, all it takes is some meditation, motivation, and positivity. I know, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, Peach, you're making it sound easier than it is. No, I get it. It could be days where it's super hard to get out of bed and really, be productive or do what you want to do, because, you're just depressed. You're feeling a depression. But that's one thing I want everyone to remember, is depression does not have to be a permanent illness. Depression does not have to be something that's permanent, and I just want to make sure everyone does, remember that and realize that, it's not a permanent illness. There's a lot of different things um, you can do to try to help yourself out of that depression, whether it's seeking help from a counselor or a psychiatrist, or, and sometimes it's okay to take meds if it's going to help you regulate. Sometimes people might need to do that just to help them regulate, the way they're thinking or whatever. And that's okay. Like, don't be ashamed of that. Don't be ashamed of because you're depressed or because you get anxiety. Like, I think, like I said, the statistics are over 40 million Americans have dealt with mental health at least some point in their life. So why is it so many people are ashamed or embarrassed to talk about it? Anyone that does want to come on the show in the future with me about the mental health topic, most definitely, please come on and we can chat. The last podcast I had with King Wavy, special guest King Wavy, was a very great discussion, and um, he really gave a very inspiring story. So, make sure you guys also check out that podcast as well. Um, And the inspiring story he gave, man, if you can get over and conquer everything he has and still have some positivity in you and be able to help others, like, I commend him for that. And I think it's a good lesson for everyone to know that it is possible. I think it will give everyone hope that it is possible to overcome depression. And it doesn't have to be a permanent thing. A lot of people get stuck and, like, thinking it's going to be a permanent thing or something that they're going to have to deal with for the rest of their life, or they're going to have to be on medicine for the rest of their life. No, that's not the case. You don't have to be. Just with the right guidance, you'll be fine. And those positive thoughts. Even if you have to download an app or go to a site every day with positive affirmations to help you think of some positive affirmations, do that. Look yourself in the mirror every morning. Tell yourself, I'm the man. I'm that bitch. You feel me? Excuse my language, but you get my point. When you have no one else there to lift you up, you lift yourself up. You be true to yourself. Love yourself enough to believe in yourself. Love yourself enough to encourage yourself and motivate yourself. And, we all say, we love ourselves, but, how much do you tolerate? How much do you really love and respect yourself? Just remember, when you really, truly have that inner self-love for yourself, you're not going to tolerate a lot of BS because you don't deserve it. You have too much love and respect for yourself at that point to know you're not going to take any shit from nobody. you know um and I think it's important to remember, you know no matter who comes into your life, whether it's for a season or a lifetime, nothing is wrong if it is someone that's for the season. If you have to let them go, learn your lesson that you had to learn from them and let them go. you know um it is easier said than done to let people go, especially if you've grown very fond of them or close to them. And it can hurt really bad. I'm not saying it's easy, but sometimes that person that was only in your life for a season can be holding you back, for the present and future part of your life, because they're there longer than they were supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So don't let no one block your blessings. That's another thing. And when you don't sleep enough, you're gonna, be grumpy. You're gonna be sluggish. You're gonna be blah. You want to try to get rest. A lot of people have insomnia and just don't talk about it. I have insomnia too sometimes. My mind races a million things at once. But, sometimes I found just laying down and really trying to just self-discipline myself to lay down, and self-discipline is so important. Because when you're disciplined with yourself, it's only going to help improve you. And excuse me. I know this Red Bull is not quenching my thirst. I think it's making me more thirsty. But I didn't advertise this podcast, and I kind of wish I did. So we have more people viewing right now, but it's all good. Um, Causes of mental health could be from, they say, family history, increases chances of having certain illnesses like chemical imbalances. Like, yeah, there is some mental illnesses that, might last longer than others. Like, but depression's not one of them. That's one that you can get out of. But there are some people with mental health issues that have chemical imbalances of the neurotransmitters. Um, their neurotransmitters are imbalanced. And with that imbalance, it causes different things to go on in their mind. And that, someone else that doesn't have a chemical imbalance might not understand. So sometimes even stressful life events, grief, divorce, violence, trauma, leaving for college, all kinds of different life events could cause, a person to, be depressed and stuff. Certain mental illnesses like schizophrenia, ADHD, generalized anxiety, OCD, and BAD, a lot of the time are caused by chronic drug use. So, sometimes if you're a chronic drug user, you're going to bring on mental health illnesses to yourself. So that's self-inflicting pain. At the time you're doing the drug, you're not thinking about that. You're thinking, it's just going to make you feel good. You're not thinking about how it's going to, conflict with other things in your life, or how it's going to really affect your mindset and your mental state. And I think it's important for people to remember, especially if you're a chronic drug user, that, being a chronic drug user, chronic meaning a whole lot, that it's going to affect your mental state. No matter how strong you think your mental state is. That's just, it's just scientific fact. Now, some mental illnesses too can be maintained and helped with medication, like we spoke about. Now, I don't encourage like you popping pills all the time or taking, medication if you don't have to. But if it's a situation where, you have a really bad bipolar disorder, or it is something like OCD or something like ADHD, sometimes even the generalized anxiety, could be mind over matter. But you might sometimes still need to take a little something for your anxiety so you don't have a panic attack, So you still want to also take care of your health, take care of yourself with your health. And, remember, it is okay to seek counseling. It is okay if you need to take something to regulate your mindset. And I'm not saying take anything. I'm saying from a doctor. But, I also feel like with certain things like depression, medication isn't always 100% necessary. If the depression is something that you can try to help yourself get out of, and what I mean by that is try to be your own coach. Try to believe in yourself and love yourself and look yourself in the mirror. Give yourself them pep talks and motivate yourself. And if like that don't work, or if seeking a higher being don't work, if you feel like you've tried everything, then I would say, maybe try medication. Like I said, I really don't encourage it all the time in some situations because it can also make a person highly addictive. And you don't want a person highly addicted because that's just going to make their mental state worse, like we were just saying. So, there has to be like a balance and a fine line between the two. That sometimes not just even talk to your doctor about, but just really do your own research on these things as well. But, because sometimes doctors think they know exactly what's going on, and they need to realize they're not in your body. Like, you're in your own body. You know how you're feeling. So if you're feeling a certain kind of way and the doctor's trying to tell you, oh no, um, that's not, that can't be how you're feeling. Like, you can't tell me how I'm feeling. You're not inside my head. You're not in my emotions. Everyone has their own unique individual way of thinking and doing things. That's another thing. Don't ever be depressed or sad or disappointed when someone doesn't do the way you do or think the way you do, because we all think differently. We all do differently. Not everyone is going to think or do the way you do. So don't set your expectations always so high for the next person when it's just going to end up disappointing you usually. You set the bar low, and when they do shoot past the bar, then you're going to not be disappointed. If anything, you're going to be happy and more excited and more surprised. And that's, just in certain situations. I mean, in some situations, you have to set the bar high. Like me being a music artist manager, I have to set the bar high for my music artist manager or my music artist, because of course I have to keep them motivated, you know? So of course for them I set the bar high. Yes, I do. But like for other different kinds of situations that aren't that serious, I hear a lot of time people get upset because of something they felt like this person should have did or should have said, but they're not realizing not everyone is going to do and say as they do and say. So keep that in mind as well, so you don't upset yourself. I mean, like I said, unless it's a position with your career, your job, where you have to, in other situations with business, of course, set the bar high. Otherwise, with other people, um, just don't set yourself up for disappointment. I guess is the best way I could put it. And moods are adaptive. Moods are definitely adaptive. Like, um, you can definitely adapt to a mood and get too comfortable and content with it too. Like I was saying about depression, you don't want to stay in depression if you don't have to. The longer you stay down, the harder it is to get back up. The important thing is not staying down too long. It's the getting back up that's important, and not staying down too long. Once you get back up, you keep it pushing and you don't look back. If anyone has any questions or anything, they can hit up the DM, they can hit up the comments even. And as soon as I see, a message or any comments, I definitely will reply. And I just want everyone to remember that, you want to be supportive to people with mental health, but you don't want to be so supportive to the point where they feel like they're disempowered, like they don't have any power. It makes them feel helpless or less than, and then that's a whole nother issue they have within themselves. So it's like, well, how do you be supportive and not be too supportive? It is tricky. It's hard because it's like trying to find that balance. Some people might let you be there for them. Some people might not. Some people might want space. But anyone that's depressed that just tries to isolate, still check on them. Still make sure they're okay, even if they're trying to isolate. Trust me, they'll thank you later for it. Even if they say they don't want to be bothered, they'll thank you later for it. Mm. So, Sometimes you just got to put aside your beliefs and stuff and have empathy too with people with more serious mental illnesses, because there are some mental illnesses that might not be able to be controlled as that easy, you know. Um, so always please try to be supportive to others. And you never know what someone's been through, You don't know what kind of day they've had. Um, just smiling at them or saying hello could make their whole day. There's a lot more people than we think that really need support and really need someone to talk to. So I just want everyone to know, as I wrap things up for tonight, that, I am here for you. And if you do believe, don't forget, God is there for you too. And at the end of the day, always remember, always love yourself and be true to yourself. And don't forget, you always have people out there that are willing to be there for you and support you in your time of need. And when I say support, sometimes people get that twisted. I don't mean financially. I mean support you in such a way that you're going to be, have more mental clarity because you have someone to talk to. You know, um, I might possibly be holding seminars soon too on relationships and things of that nature. So I'm pretty excited about it, putting it all together. So I'll be announcing in the new year, to be announced in the new year, um, when exactly, what date that is going to start. But I will be having seminars on um, mental health, but also relationships and your sex life and keeping the relationship spicy and keeping the spark in the relationship and different things I feel like could really work for people in relationships if they just really submit sometimes to one another. Sometimes all it could take is someone actually admitting, okay, you're right, honey, I was wrong, I apologize, how can we fix this? You have no idea what a long way that can go. Like my friend, like if he goes, I apologize, accepts it's his fault, and says, okay, like how can we fix this, or what, whatever. I'm already ready to like naturally be like have an argumentative spirit because I'm upset. But once they apologize and admit that it was their fault and they completely accept full responsibility, it's like, how could I even argue still? How could I even say anything else? That's the time when you need to just drop what you were about to say. Don't, just calm down. Don't have argumentative spirit and just be like, wow, this person's really trying. This person's really a real person. Man or woman. If you're able to accept responsibility for what you've done, admit your fault, and try to fix things to make things better. I mean, there really shouldn't be no more argument, and sometimes in some cases you might have to agree to disagree on different things because we're still all our own individual person. Like we still all have our own opinions on everything. So with that being said, respect each other, love each other, cherish each other, try to be more understanding to each other. And until next time, I love your faces, and I hope to see you guys next time. Have a great night, everyone, and please be safe. Please, please be safe out there. In a lot of places, it's freezing cold, like where I am. I thank God that everyone's okay. We had a really bad snowstorm here. So bad that it was trending on Twitter. So, really sad and unfortunate because we lost a lot of lives. And, this is my hometown, so it's really upsetting to me that we lost so many people in the snowstorm. So please, everyone, remember, Use your wisdom. If you don't think you can make it somewhere, don't go out. If it's a cyclone snowstorm, don't go out. Stay in the house. No matter where you're trying to get to, what you're trying to do, stay in the house. I thank God I'm safe and my family's safe, but that's because we stayed in the house the whole week. If we would have went out, it could have been a whole nother story, God forbid. So please, everyone, use your wisdom in situations like that. And, my condolences to every single family in Buffalo, New York that has lost a loved one. Definitely a very sad situation. And what's even more sad and disgusting is people posting a person that passed right in the snow. His face was head down in the snow. I seen a post on Instagram. People were laughing at this. How could you laugh? Like, what has society come to? What has this world come to? That we're going to laugh at someone dying in the snow? That it wasn't even someone I knew, but this happened in my hometown. You know how much that hurt me? And how hurtful it is to know that people are just so disgusting that would laugh at something like that. It's not a laughing matter when someone dies. It's not a laughing matter when you lose a loved one. And my condolences, my heart and prayers go out to each and every person that has lost a loved one this past weekend. Sorry, guys. I did get a little upset about that. I really hope everyone has a great, blessed night. And, remember, when we have something devastating that happens, not only is it not a laughing matter, but we shouldn't be ruining our communities by breaking into stores, taking everything off the shelves. What has that accomplished? That's accomplished nothing, but left other people that needed things without stuff because other people wanted to be greedy and go looting. Now, that'll be a whole nother topic for another day because I can go on and on about how disgraced I was by my community. We're supposed to be the city of good neighbors. The snowstorm this weekend showed that we are not that. I would love to get back to that, but we are not the city of good neighbors. If we can do that to our own community and our own people, what are we doing? What is this world really coming to? Everyone, please have a great night. Like I said, cherish each other, love each other, be understanding to each other. Always positive vibes, positive life, positive mind.